So that brings us to our next topic, type that works beyond the show ring. This isn't just about show style conformation. It's about functional type traits like feet and legs, udders, and overall structure that make cows more durable and productive in commercial settings. So Paul, I'm going to flip this over to you and Carson.
Okay, thanks again, Krista. And yeah, so this one I find an intriguing topic because it also kind of goes to the resurgence of type as, you know, part of the breeding goal. And I thinking back a few years ago, maybe more particularly, where it seemed like we were gravitating to the top LPI bulls as not necessarily being very high on type. And that seems to be changing a little bit. But certainly with respect to, I think, the importance of type and maybe even the idea of type not being show type, but for you know, regular herds and how we keep cows around, as you stated, keeping cows that it isn't just about show style, but it's about functional traits like feet and legs and udders. But Carson, just to kick things off, when you look at Semex, who clearly are dominating right now in that type setting with their young genomic list, how would you say they have accomplished this over the last few years?
Yeah, thank you, Paul, and welcome everyone. Yeah, there's been a return to a more significant focus on conformation within LPI, and as well even LPI bulls leading, or even LPI bulls where type leads the way. Semex has been very successful in combining double-digit type with good production. For example, a bull like Mango, who's a new release, who sits at plus 14 for conformation. He's 4,015 LPI with a 998 milk and 115 for fat. As well, they've done this through internal product development like sires like Anahita and Bullseye, and partnering with specific breeders across Canada via early release semen to allow the production of breed leading type bulls. As well, acquiring some females or strategic identification of females like Dulet Lambda Katrina for Genesis High Jump Leader and Free Pro Perfect Lindor, as well as Mystique Lambda Annis, to make breed leading sons and full sisters to them that can do the same later on into the generations. Although many of these bulls are not proven yet, but we can expect these type bulls will add more type into the future and bring more proven LPI list of sires to in the coming years.
Specifically on Anahita, you mentioned him, and obviously when it comes to the top of the type list, I mean, Anahita himself is an interesting bull in terms of how he's created. I think created more to be a crossover bull that brought some production into a type pedigree. But it's really interesting how when you look at the Anahita sons today, they're bringing a different kind of type. They're bringing really high udder and feet and leg ratings and not necessarily the extreme stature to go along with them. But the Anahita sons are a big part of our type resurgence currently. Can you discuss some of the top options and what they bring to the table?
Yeah, so Anahita has been pretty popular, still is popular. He was kind of an interest mating where there was a production bull mated on a high type cow that seemed to get the best of both worlds, combined production along with type himself. Yeah, for his sons, we've have new releases like Love Story, who sits at plus 18 conformation himself, and 927 for milk, with also a high LPI of 3720. Yeah, they continue to seem to combine the production and health or conformation traits together. Another one is Comet sitting at +15 for conformation, with a 606 for milk and yeah, actually the top 7 typos in the breed in Canada all are sons of Anahita himself. Although Anahita will probably make lots of show animals as well. The real appeal is for breeders that want to make great barn cows with very correct feet and legs as well as great udders. And he seems to fit that bill.
Yeah, no, I agree fully on that. And one of the things that I've noticed too, Carson, is that many of these type bulls that are rising through the rankings now, not just for type but LPI too, many of them are, from well-established cow families. And that leads to the question of, when it comes to type bulls, what families or cow families are you advising your producers to incorporate in their breeding programs?
I mean, there is lots out there to look at. I really like myself the Walnutlawn bulls from the alligator briar family. Yeah, they seem to be quite popular. Bulls like Benson, Bright Path, which is another one of them, Alcove Lambda crosses that have seemed to work so well. Yeah, and then you could always go with Lambda Anis herself and her 3 sons, Anahita, Ambrose, and Niche. They've all been very popular. And then there's additional sons coming from a daughter out of that family, Auburn Red, who seems to follow the same line as well. There's also lots of bulls out of the Jacobs herd, from Lambda Briar, another Briar. Many are actually from show pedigrees, but they are families that generation after generation keep delivering, and most have pretty good productions. Like Big Bang himself is another bull that's high for type, and over 1,000 kgs of milk. Yeah, and then from the same family, we had Jacob's Lambda Baz, who was a show cow in Western Canada for Benbie. But her full brother Bruins has made some really nice calves as well. And then mentioning Benbie, we have some really nice bulls from their Lambda Ashley family that combines type and production as well, like Attract and Alcatraz. Yeah, and then Genesis itself has created a number of really good type bulls from a variety of families that may not be well known for breed leading type, but bulls like Pentatonics and Comet come from Progenesis.
Yeah, that's some really good examples. Thanks for that, Carson. And then in the high type segment, an emerging challenge, you've mentioned Lambda, a number of the bulls and pedigrees and cow families. Obviously, finding type that doesn't have, or high type that doesn't have Lambda close up in the pedigree gets to be a bit of a challenge today. So how are you advising customers on the balanced breeding options that don't have a lot of Lambda influence?
Yeah, it has been a bit of a challenge, but I feel we do have some pretty good options that have limited Lambda blood or no Lambda at all. Usually these bloodlines tend to get their type from Alligator himself. Luxor is a good example of that, being an Action son. Yeah, that sits at +15 for type himself. It also Lamborghini is another bull who is an Angle son, although he does have Lambda 4 generations back. Another popular bull that has been used is Zircon P. as well as his sons, Lancelot and Bandito, are solid choices with no Lambda. Another one of my favorites is the Bull Mystique Compact, who is a Lone Star son out of a Dran, out of a Fuel. That sits at +11 for type and 954 for milk. That has no Lambda in that bloodline. So yeah. And then probably one of the best options, most popular, is Pop Rock and his sons, that has combined really good production with high type as well. And then you have the OCD Monteverde Mint Cow that has produced newly released bulls like Monkey, Mango, and Ludwig, that are great type improvers with only one shot of Lambda five generations back. And all of these bulls are right on top of the LPI list. And then kind of on the other side of the border in the US, newly proven bull King Ransom Drop Box is an excellent option that doesn't have any direct ties to Lambda and has been making some pretty good looking daughters from what we've seen.
Well, that's actually a bigger list than I was anticipating. So good job on that, Carson. And then if you were going to summarize as we look forward, and we have some people on this call that are quite actively breeding for type, what do you think would be on the horizon in terms of the challenges for people that like to breed for type? What do you think we need to address in our breeding programs? What do you think product development companies like Progenesis and Semex, what are they working on trying to fix, and what are you hearing from breeders on what we do need to fix?
Yeah, right now, especially with robots being a big thing, and lots more farms are shifting that way. Things like teat length and reverse tilt are things that we need to continue to look at. Yeah, and another thing that I've noticed is definitely front leg view. Lots of cows seem to be towing out, and that's definitely becoming an issue. And then as well as this has been a couple years now, but straight legs is still a bit of an issue, and locomotion, and trying to work towards fixing that. As well. Probably in the future, you'd probably like to see some of these high leading type bulls to have a little more health traits. So combining that with these type leading cow families would definitely help.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks, Carson.
Yeah, thanks, Carson. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for highlighting how functional type goes beyond the show ring and really drives longevity and profitability on farm.